So, we're in the first city, bleeding all over the place again. You look like you want to talk to me.
Halt, stranger. I am Lothar, Paladin of the King and humble servant of Innos, your lord. Our commander, Lord Hagen, has entrusted me with the task of explaining to all newcomers the new laws which apply to all inhabitants of the city.
Since people have started simply vanishing all over this town, everyone needs to watch out that they don't suffer the same fate.
I'm not telling you anything new. That was quite obvious.
Might as well talk to as many people as possible, ask about quests and all that.
The townspeople are simply disappearing?
Yes, it seems to be more every day. It's most annoying that the militia have still not been able to discover what's behind these strange occurrences. Small wonder that the town's inhabitants are very wary of strangers right now. So don't provoke them when you're in town, understood?
They listen to me.
All right. Explain the rules of the city to me.
First, the Honorable Paladin Lord Hagen resides in the upper quarter, along with his troops. That is why access to the upper quarter is allowed only to honorable citizens. Second, the town hall in the upper quarter is now the command post of the Paladins. Only the Paladins themselves and members of the militia have access to it. And third, whoever is accused of a crime must exonerate himself with the commander of the militia. Any questions?
I wouldn't be so sure. It's a bad business.
Might as well ask about everything.
Don't say you didn't know.
How do I become a citizen of the town?
Only those with regular jobs will be considered citizens of the town. But don't think that you'll be admitted to Lord Hagen just because you're a citizen of the town. As a citizen, you have access to the upper quarter, nothing more. Only as a member of the militia will you have access to the town hall.
No, he insisted he knew better. Nobody
How do I get to the upper quarter?
Say, are you listening to me at all? You're not a citizen of this town. You can save yourself the trip. The guards won't let you in. The entire area behind the inner gate is off limits to you.
I don't believe this is gonna change.
How do I get accepted into the militia?
By express command of Lord Hagen, only citizens of the town will be admitted into the militia.
I see.
If you want to know more, speak to Lord Andre in the barracks.
That was quite obvious. I'd have gone about it differently.
Where can I spend the night here?
If you're looking for a place to sleep, go to the hotel directly across from the barracks. The Paladins pay for the lodging of all travelers who come to the city. The traveling traders from the marketplace are also lodged there.
That's convenient.
What do I have to do to get armor like yours?
What? You aren't even a member of the militia! You're not even a citizen! How can you even think of being allowed to wear the armor of a paladin? Only a few militia soldiers, those who have performed extraordinary deeds, have been granted that honor so far. If you want to be a paladin, you have a long road ahead of you, my boy.
To himself.
Where did you pick that up then?
Important massage for the leader of the Khorinis. I don't think that would get us anywhere.
Where can I find work?
You'll have to apply as an apprentice to one of the masters here in the lower part of the city. As soon as a master accepts you, you are a citizen of the town. However, the other masters must agree to it. That's the custom here in Khorinis. If you were thinking about looking for work in the Harbor District, forget it.
Get that from me.
The scum of the city live there. Don't even go there. You would regret it.
We can only wait.
Excellent. So barracks would be the city guard commander.
Where can I find the commander of the city guard?
Lord Andre can be found in the barracks at the other end of the city.
I don't believe this is gonna change.
Let's go with the important message option.
I have an important message for the leader of the Paladins.
The Honorable Lord Hagen is not receiving anyone. Lord Andre, the commander of the city guard, is responsible for all issues pertaining to the common folk.
He had better shut up.
Yeah, I have come to get the minerals that'll go. Well, let's go with the dragons.
Listen, the city is threatened by dragons.
That can't be true. Another lunatic. We have enough unrest in the city as it is. And without some dimwit scaring people with fairy tales about dragons. I immediately locked up the last person who was here telling dragon tales and sent him to the Valley of Mines with the prison transport. So mind your tongue. We can't use anyone here who spreads panic among the people.
Where did you pick that up then?
Somebody already reported the dragons here?
Yes.
That's the
The
first
fellow's name was Diego. I think so, in any case. I warned him just like you. But the lunatic just wouldn't stop getting on my nerves.
Don't tell this to anyone.
So I guess we'll drop it.
I've got to go.
you said.
If I hear one more time that you are telling people here about dragons, you will be in big trouble. Do I make myself clear?
Really? How interesting.
So,
But he knew that all along.
He can't keep anything to himself.
fairly clear.
Don't say he didn't know that.
Honestly.
I'll never get this open without the right key.
I've got my own opinion about that.
Don't tell this to anyone.
Halt! No one may enter the storeroom!
Why can't anyone enter the storeroom?
The Honorable Lord Hagen has confiscated the goods for the King's army.
We can only wait and see.
Hey,
Don't tell this to anyone.
Hello, stranger. You must be hungry and thirsty. Perhaps I can interest you in my wares.
Yeah, I don't think I want to touch your wares at the moment.
Where did you pick that up then?
Might as well look at what he has to offer, though.
what do you have to offer?
At the moment, I don't have much choice. The damned landowner doesn't deliver anymore.
Talks to
And what we get from the small farms isn't enough to meet the demands of the city.
My opinion.
Show me your wares.
Apples. Firm and juicy. Bread, cheese, milk.
It's really not my problem. I've heard a thing or two.
Okay, want to try something.
I agree with you completely.
So I don't want to try something now.
I've got my own opinion about that.
Tell me more about the Peasants' Revolt.
It's quite simple. Onar, the fat landowner, won't pay any more taxes to the city. Imagine, we're at war with the orcs, and that fat slob wants everything for himself. Normally, the city guard would take firm measures in such cases, but now comes the best part. They say Onar has hired mercenaries to keep the troops from the city off his back. Mercenaries! The whole thing will end in a damn war, as if one war weren't enough.
That up then.
What do you know about Onar's mercenaries?
I heard that most of them are former convicts from the mining colony. And their leader's supposed to have been a big shot with the king, a general or something,
Lee.
whom they put away as a traitor. These are terrible times.
There's nothing you can do about it.
I was actually on my way to see the Paladins.
There's little chance of that. Since the paladins made themselves at home in the upper end of town, hardly anyone gets in there anymore.
That's all just gossip.
Can you help me get into the upper quarter?
Me? Nah. I don't have much say here myself. There are a few people in the lower city who have enough influence to get you past the guards. Mateo, my boss, is one of them. Maybe you should talk to him.
I'd have gone about it differently.
Where can I find Mateo?
You're standing right outside his shop. Just go on in. He's practically always there.
He never would have thought of that himself.
What about the other influential citizens?
The merchants and master craftsmen here on the main street are the most important figures in the city. You should try to get accepted by one of them as an apprentice like me. Since I started working for Mateo, the people in the city treat me with respect.
I need some money, and I'm looking for work.
I've heard that Bosper has trouble with his suppliers. His shop is right over there. They say he pays pretty well.
I've heard a thing or two.
Fair enough. Important information, I'm sure.
If he doesn't see that, I can't
What's
help
new?
Since the collapse of the barrier, open trade with the big farmer has abruptly stopped. Who knows what he's plotting? There's something fishy going on.
That's the first I've heard of it. I'm not telling you anything new.
What's interesting in this town?
You can buy almost anything you can imagine here, either from the merchants in the marketplace or in the lower part of the city. But almost everything that you can buy also costs a bit. If you don't have enough money, then maybe Lamar the moneylender can help you. His house is at the beginning of the harbor district, as you come from the lower part of town.
That doesn't surprise me.
What can you tell me about this area?
You are now in the lower part of town. Where do you want to go?
That's all just gossip.
Okay, Harbor, Barracks, Gallows, Marketplace, Temple of Adenas. Per quarter.
He never would have thought of that himself.
Thanks, that's all I wanted to know.
I knew that would be
Yeah, this is just going to take some time. No getting
Will it ever
around
change?
that. Okay, let's start with the first building.
This forever.
Mateo store.
He never would have thought
Sorry
of that
about the
himself.
blood again. Hunt and Prey. Yeah, Black Light trophies. And Minecrawler trophies. Basically describing what you can get from the items you can collect from them. Now use your stove. Not sure how.
with?
Yeah, it'll immediately cook the meat. So what kind of difference did it make? Fried meat. Yeah. More or less, I guess, doubles the heating amount.
What can I do for you?
Media. Maybe not. We might not be able to get an apprenticeship with everyone, and there might be differences in what you can get.
What do you know about paladins?
Since these bastards have come to the city, I've had nothing but trouble. The last time I was headed for the upper end of town, the guards flat out stopped me and asked me what was my business there.
And?
Of course they let me in. I had my shop in the city when most of those pompous asses were still chasing pigs with wooden swords. And yesterday, the bastards came and confiscated half of my goods.
The paladins seized your goods.
Everything I had stored in the backyard. They simply posted a guard in front of the entrance to the yard. If I'm lucky, they won't take everything. At least they might leave the armor here.
Armor. Excellent. Yeah, I don't want to ask about help in getting into the upper corner yet. I want to see. This is basically a shopkeeper. Maybe one of the rest has some kind of a profession we might be more interested in.
What are you selling?
I can offer you everything you need to survive in the wild. Weapons, torches, provisions, even armor. I still have a special piece in stock. Double hardened armor of snapper leather. Still unused. Interested?
250 gold. 25 against weapons, 20 against arrows. It's better than what we have.
Show me your wares.
Yeah, strength required 60. 50 and arrows. Yeah. Dark Paladin. What does it mean? It's the name of the beer or what? How would you get past the guard. Maybe a certain time of day might be an option.
Don't say you didn't know that.
More interest in the geographic area. What's behind there?
How'd you pick that up?
It's a fairly shallow wall. It might be you can jump over it. Maybe you can have sneak ability and get there.
What
Something
crappy
like that.
weather.
Yeah, what crappy weather indeed.
It was just like you said.
It's not what I heard.
Welcome to my shop, stranger. I am Basper. I craft bows and trade in furs. What brings you to Khorinis?
How much money do I have? 100. Yeah, let's ask for.
Show me your wares.
So, 50 dexterity, 30, 20, 10. Leather belts, weapon protection, arrow protection. Together with leather armor. I'm guessing it does nothing if you don't have leather armor. Ring of dexterity. Bolts.
I'm looking for work.
I could use a new apprentice. The last one just gave up his job 2 days ago. Do you know anything about hunting then?
Well,
I could teach you how to skin animals.
Okay, this
I'll
sounds
pay
good.
you well for every skin you bring me.
what if I want to sign on with one of the other masters?
Boulder Dash. Harrod and Matteo already have apprentices. Constantino the Alchemist is a loner, and he hasn't taken an apprentice in years. And as for Thorben, everyone knows he's dead broke. He probably couldn't even pay you. I, on the other hand, am in urgent need of an apprentice, and I pay well too. But no matter where you want to sign on, you need the approval of all other masters from the lower part of town.
So what I'm guessing is it happened. You have to do a certain amount of jobs for everyone, but you still have to pick an apprenticeship. Alchemists might be more supportive of our efforts as a mage, but the hunting wouldn't be bad either. It was my main source of income in Gothic 1.
Why did your apprentice give up his job?
All he said was that it had become too dangerous out there. If you're really interested, then you can ask him yourself. His name is Bartok. He's probably hanging out near Corrigan's Tavern. Go through the underpass from the smithy, then you're headed straight for it.
Okay, at least I sort of have a fairly decent understanding of what's expected of us here.
Ah, fresh face. You're not from Khorinis, are you? This is not a good time for travelers. Bandits everywhere, no work, and now the farmers have risen up too. What winds have blown you here?
What do you know about the Paladins?
Not much. They arrived by ship 2 weeks ago from the mainland. Since then, they have withdrawn to the upper end of town. Nobody here really knows exactly why they have come. Many are afraid of an attack by the orcs. I suppose, however, that they are here to quell the farmers' rebellion.
Do you know anything about the Peasants' Rebellion?
Rumor has it that Onar, the landowner, has hired mercenaries. He was probably tired of having to throw his harvest along with his livestock at paladins and militia. All we notice of this in town is that the food prices keep rising. Onar's farm lies far to the east of here. We wouldn't know if there's any fighting going on there. And if you want to know more, ask the merchants in the marketplace. They get around the island more than I do.
I'm looking for work.
Do you know anything about carpentry?
The only thing I can make out of wood is a fire.
And what about locks?
Well...
I'm sorry, but I can't use you if you know nothing about my trade. And I have no money to pay for an apprentice.
Lockpicking would be very good. So another one of those skills that you want to have early on, at least on some level.
So, you know a lot about locks.
What good is a fine chest without a fine lock? I make my own locks. That way, I can at least be sure I haven't built my chest that sturdy for nothing. A poorly made lock is easy to break, and there are plenty of thieves about in Khorinis, especially lately.
Can you teach me how to pick locks?
I don't know whether you can be trusted or not. For all I know, you might be one of those layabouts who only come to town to empty the chests of honest people. I'm not going to teach you anything before I'm convinced that you're an honest fellow.
Fair enough.
Have you had an apprentice before?
Yes, and not too long ago.
And what happened?
His name is Elvrich. He's my nephew. I was quite pleased with him, actually, but one day he simply didn't show up for work.
Where is Elvrich now?
How would I know? He kept hanging around that filthy brothel by the harbor. I wouldn't be surprised if he's still warming the bed of some whore down there.
Seems like a good way to spend your time. I doubt that.
How long has it been since you saw him?
I guess it must be about 2 weeks.
Have you reported that to the militia?
Of course I have. They were supposed to catch him and see to it that the lazy bones does his work, but I already regret that. He can do whatever he wants. Sooner or later he'll realize he'll get nowhere in Khorinis without a decent job.
Is that so?
Nobody will learn anything from me.
Okay, who's next?
New in the city, huh? I'm Brian. I'm Master Harrod's apprentice.
What's it like to be the smith's apprentice?
Why do you ask? You want to be my successor?
Maybe.
Why not? I'm almost done with my apprenticeship, and then I'm gonna leave the city. But not because of Harrod. He is a good master. I've learned a lot from him.
Why do you want to leave this town?
Because the people here are getting on my nerves above all the other masters. I still remember what a fuss it was getting accepted as an apprentice with Harrod. Really, every one of them jokers had something to say about it. I want to decide for myself who I can or can't take as an apprentice.
Who are the other masters?
Well, there's Thorpen the carpenter, Bosper the bowmaker, Constantino the alchemist, and Matteo. He sells armor, but first of all, he's a merchant. All the masters have their houses here on the street, and Constantino's shop is in the underpass to the temple.
Tell me more about Master Harrod.
He's not in a very good mood right now. A few days ago, the paladins came and ordered him to forge some swords for them. They've even forbidden him to sell swords to anyone else. Now he slaves day and night to finish the job as quickly as possible.
Can I buy weapons from you?
Not really, I'm merely an assistant. The weapons that are made in this smithy are collected by the militia and taken to the towers where they're stored. But if it has anything to do with forging, maybe I can help you.
What can I get from you?
I can sell you some steel billets.
So basically, this in the first game you could forge your own weaponry, and it was a good way to turn raw steel items into something of a much greater value. But I think in this game it's an actual skill.
Wait a minute. Do you sell weapons too?
Forget it. Everything I make goes to the paladins or the militia. I have a commission for 100 swords from Lord Hagen. He wants to equip the city guard.
I'm looking for work.
I could use a new apprentice. Brian will have finished his apprenticeship soon, and then he'll leave the city. Are you good for anything?
If you mean, do I know blacksmith's work?
No, that's not what I meant. Sooner or later, the orcs are going to lay siege to the city, and then the only men who will count will be those who are in a position to defend our city. And I won't take on anyone as an apprentice who will disgrace me by fleeing the city with the women and the good-for-nothings, instead of holding the fort here with the men.
Okay, 2 more, I suppose. What is that? It's a hammer. Why is there a hammer there? There's a saw there too.
And Beliar gave unto it a portion of his divine power, so that it might destroy the land. But Enos beheld what Beliar had done, and he also bestrode the land and chose.
Like to... Yeah, the alchemist should be here then.
Became his subject, and Enos gave unto him a portion of his divine power, so that he might undo.
What do you want? I'm not giving anything away.
I'm in need of healing.
Why? Are you injured?
Yes.
Go to Vatras then. He'll patch you up all right. And stop bleeding over my floor, please.
Fair enough. Let's talk first.
Show me your wares.
Pure life energy. Make a powerful potion. Knowledge of elixirs of healing is required for use. Your mana. Divine power of the stars. Goblin's bone. Wings. And alchemy potions, I suppose. That water bottle. Temple Square, Merchant Street, Marketplace. We don't have anything particular to sell.
And Enos in his wisdom did so.
Adanos be with you.
Who are you?
I am Vatras, a servant of Adanos, the guardian of the divine and earthly equilibrium. What can I do for you?
A lot of options.
Can you heal me?
Adanos, bless this body. Free it of its wounds and strengthen it with new life.
Yeah.
Tell me about the gods.
What exactly would you like to know?
Tell me about Enos.
Very well.
Enos is the first and highest god.
He created the sun and the world. He commands light and fire, his gifts to humanity. He is law and justice. His priests are the magicians of fire. The paladins are his warriors.
Tell me about Adanos.
Adanos is the god of the center. He is the scales of justice and guardian of the balance between Enos and Beliar.
He commands the power of change. His gift is the water in all the oceans, rivers, and lakes. His priests are the water mages, just as I am a servant and priest of Adanos.
Tell me about Beliar.
Beliar is the dark god of death, destruction, and all things unnatural. He is in eternal battle with Innos, but Adanos guards the balance between the two. Only a few humans follow the call of Beliar. However, he grants great strength to those who do.
Can you teach me something about magic?
Only the chosen of Innos and the chosen of Adanos are permitted to work rune magic. But common mortals can also work magic with the help of spell scrolls. I can show you how you can channel and expand your magic powers.
I want to increase my magic powers.
Okay, mana. At the moment it costs 1 learning point per mana gained, and I don't have any spells, so this is a waste of learning points. Make donations to Adanos. I don't know what the donations do. I doubt it's just a pointless waste of money, but I'm gonna need a lot more money before I can think about donating it to anything.
Tell me about the Ring of Water.
And why would I do that?
Cavalorn sent me to you.
And what did he tell you?
He said you're in dire need of more good people.
Aha. So, you want to join us, son?
Tell me about the Ring of Water.
And why would I...
Okay, screw you.
Here, I've got a letter for you.
For me? Indeed. This is an important message you're bringing me. I wonder how you got hold of this letter.
I got it from Cavalorn, the hunter.
Cavalorn? Where is he?
He told me to tell you he couldn't make it and is headed for the meeting point. Whatever he meant by that.
I see that you have gained Cavalorn's trust. That speaks in your favor.
Tell me about the Ring of Water.
And why would I...
Okay, fine. I get the... I'm getting the impression that this is expansion pack related content. Doesn't mean we have to keep avoiding it, but because Ring of Water, pirates and all that was sort of things that were brought in the expansion, at least that's the expansion manual talks about them, not the original manual. So it's not something I want to immediately delve into. It's getting nighttime though. Like to rest. We can do the rest during daylight. Where the hell is the barracks anyway? There was definitely a mention of this.
What do you want?
I wanted to have a look around here.
Then where exactly are you headed?
What interesting things are there to see here?
There's a cat house here and a tavern. The landlord's name is Khorinis. If it's information you want, he'll be the right person to talk to. Do you, need money, by the way?
Has anything exciting happened lately?
Not long ago, the city guards turned the entire harbor district upside down. They were searching for stolen property. There have been plenty of thefts here lately, especially in the better quarters. They're obviously trying to blame the poor suckers at the harbor for everything.
Why are you hammering?
For days now, I've been desperately trying to fix the leaks in my house. The rafters have been crumbling away ever since we had those rainfalls recently. Soon everything's gonna come down around my ears.
If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes.
I don't think you're actually hammering the wood there. Might explain why their efforts are in vain.
Is it really true?
Yeah, I don't think this is the correct way if I want to
How interesting.
find an inn.
You really think?
But he knew that all along.
Let's wait and see what happens.
And everyone here is carrying a
I
weapon.
must be crazy. What are you doing here?
Just like you said.
Do you really think?
Hey, Larish, you old scoundrel, how did you get here?
I was able to escape to the Valley of Mines just in time, together with Lee and some of the other boys. You remember Lee, don't you?
Pick that up then. Wouldn't be so sure.
Yeah, he was the general.
Why haven't I heard about this?
Of course I remember Lee.
I got out of the colony with him then, just after the barrier was destroyed. He and his boys are now on the farm of Onar, the landowner. He made a deal with the farmer. He and his boys defend the farm, and Onar feeds them in return.
Those are all just rumors. We can only wait and see. Nobody ever asked for my opinion.
Tell me more about Lee and his mercenaries.
What do you want to know?
Enough trouble as it is. I'm in enough trouble as it is.
How do I find the landowner's farm?
It's quite simple. You leave the seaport by the east gate, and then follow the path towards the east. I can take you there if you want.
Mm.
I knew that all along. He didn't get that from me.
Nothing's ever gonna change that.
Why aren't you with Lee and his mercenaries?
But I am, just not on the farm. You could say I'm our outpost in the city. We don't want the ship to sail without us.
I knew that all along. You mustn't believe everything you hear.
He should have known.
What ship were you talking about?
Nobody ever asked.
It's on the open sea harbor, behind the cliffs. Lee and a few of his people really want to get away from here. But that could take a while.
Why?
You'd better ask Lee about that. If you meet him, he's got plans.
That from me.
You don't have to ask me that.
Tell me more about the
Well, if you're as tough as you were back then, you shouldn't have any problems with them. Most of them are ruffians, and if you can't stand up to them, you won't get far. If you're squeamish, you don't have a chance of joining them.
I don't want to hear that. Nothing's ever gonna change that.
Nobody ever.
Can you teach me something?
Sure. I can help you become stronger and more dexterous if you like.
Let's wait and see what happens.
So basic training.
That's the first I've
Teach
heard.
me something.
These are all just rumors. It can't go on like this forever.
I can't believe that. We can only wait and see.
Who said that? Those are all
I must talk to the paladins by any means.
What do you want from them?
They've got a powerful amulet, the Eye of Innos. I must have it.
And you think they'll give it to you? You'll never get into the upper end of town.
I'll find a way somehow.
Sure. If you want to ingratiate yourself with the citizens or play errand boy for the militia.
My own opinion about that.
Who said that? I don't want to hear that.
Do you know why the paladins are here?
Nobody knows for sure. Lots of people think it's because of the orcs, but I think there's another reason. It probably has something to do with the old penal colony.
I can't believe that.
Nothing's ever gonna change that. Do you really think?
That's the first I've heard of it. You mustn't believe
Ah,
everything you hear.
bits.
Hey, you! Where you going? No matter what your plans are, there'll be plenty of time later. You're right in front of the Pearl of Khorinis, the Red Lantern. This is the most beautiful brothel in all of Mirtana, damn it. Sailors from the most remote corners of the world dock here just to spend a few nights in the Red Lantern. And now, it's you who has the chance, nay, the honor of spending a night with Nadia, the most passionate flower of the gods. Come on in, and you're going to experience what others cannot even dream of.
A horde that has been sleeping around with men from all over the world and is probably more diseased than anything else. Yeah, sounds great. We might want to talk with her anyway, because we are missing an apprentice. Carl. Yeah, let's talk to Carl and then try to find a place to sleep in.
Hey, you!
What led you into this poor area? What are you looking for here?
I'm just looking around a bit.
Ha! Then you better not be caught looking around. It would seem that we have a few thieves in the city who would steal stuff from the rich people. The city guard recently turned the harbor district upside down, but they didn't find anything.
Can you teach me anything?
I'm forging a few fittings and nails and repairing iron parts. But I don't know enough about forging weapons to be able to instruct you. If you want to learn that, go see Harrod. He sure knows how to forge weapons. But if you want to train your muscles a bit, well, I can help you with that.
That's what I've always said.
Okay, he charges for training.
How much do you charge for the training?
50 gold pieces, and I'll help you to become stronger.
How would I pay when I can do it for free?
What do you know about the thieves?
Nothing, but all the citizens are scared and have become distrustful, particularly towards strangers. Don't get caught in strange houses. No one takes kindly to that. Yeah, you gotta protect yourself against thieves. A sturdy cudgel works best.
That's not what I heard. That's not what my husband thinks.
There's something wrong with your hair.
He simply talks
Anyway,
too much.
place to sleep.
I don't believe that.
One of those back alleys might lead to storage area here. Can't go there, so where is the barracks exactly? Opposite to that should be the place we can go and rest in. I'd have to take a wild guess. I would say it's close to the temple.
Things I could tell you.
I agree with you completely.
I don't expect it to be here. I just want to take a look around. At least this isn't that dark during nighttime, so.
Been there, done that.
What is this? Tavern.
That's not what my husband thinks.
So.
I'm staying out of it.
Touching that.
If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes.
You mustn't believe everything.
No better off myself.
Market districts.
Someone's gonna do the work.
Yellow.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yep, this is it.
Work someday too.
Ah, customer, what can I do for you?
I'm looking for a room.
Ah, you're in the right place then.
One of the paladins told me that I could spend the night here for free.
Yes, yes. Just go up the stairs. We still have 1 or 2 beds free.
Why do the paladins pay?
Why do the paladins pay for everything?
I don't know what that's all about either. For one thing, I think they want to get all the poor suckers off the streets so they don't make any mischief. And for another, they want to get on the good side of the traveling traders. Now that the farmers are rebelling, We have to rely on the traders for provisions. Besides, I think they want to improve the morale in the city a bit. Lord Andre has even arranged for free beer to be given out at the Gala Square.
Yeah, I wonder what they're really up to. It could be just the game mechanic basically allowing you to rest freely here.
Who's staying here at the moment?
Almost all of them are traveling traders from the market.
Aha!
Don't even think about messing with their stuff. I don't want any trouble here.
I have a few questions about the city. Tell me about the town.
Khorinis is one of the wealthiest cities within the kingdom, even if it doesn't look like it at the moment. But since the Orc War started, trade has almost come to a complete standstill. The king has requisitioned the entire merchant fleet for military service, which means that hardly any ships come into the harbor now. So, the supply of goods is very scarce now, and many citizens of the town are very worried. Nobody really knows what the future will bring. There's basically nothing we can do but wait and see what happens. It's not like we can change anything.
A pretty pessimistic outlook, and I'm surprised that they basically halted all trade. You can't keep on fighting for long if you're not bringing in money. Either way, at least we can take a rest here. Suppose we could have talked to people too. Either way. I'd like to get the basic chatting down with the rest of the city. Okay. More merchants.
How strange. It seems to me that I have met you before, traveler. Well, great are the mysteries of time and space. Oh, please forgive my rudeness, son of patience. I have not even greeted you yet. Welcome, friend. Take a seat on my humble rugs and enjoy a pipe in peace.
Who are you?
My name is Abu Jin ibn Jadir ibn Omar Khalid bin Haji al-Sharidi. I am a seer and a prophet, an astrologer and a purveyor of tobacco.
Can you make me a prophecy?
My services are yours for a modest fee, oh father of generosity.
How much do you want?
For a paltry 25 coins. I shall risk a glance through time for you. But remember, the future is always uncertain. All I can do is glimpse some fragments of time.
Yeah, I'm not paying.
What kind of tobacco do you offer?
My pipes are filled with spicy, refreshing apple tobacco. Help yourself whenever you want, son of adventure.
Do you have other tobacco as well?
I offer only the very best tobacco. This apple blend is a symphony from my homeland, the Southern Isles. But, of course, I'm always open to trying a different sort of tobacco. If somebody should succeed in producing a really good tobacco.
How's that done?
Start with my apple tobacco as a basis, and then try combining it with another ingredient. This is done at an alchemist's bench, provided you know the essentials of alchemy.
Where can I get apple tobacco?
I shall give you 2 portions. It is up to you, in your wisdom, to do with them whatever you want. If you crave more, then direct your steps toward Suris, the master of potions. He produces this tobacco, and he sells it too.
Hear ye, inhabitants of Khorinis. By the explicit order of the Honorable Lord Hagen, the following
How's it
decree
going?
is hereby
You're not from around here, are you?
From this
Never
moment
mind.
onward,
Neither am I.
Lord Andre
Where did you hang
will
around
take
before?
The supreme
In the
command
woods,
of our
hunting
militia.
scavengers and
All
wolves,
the citizens
together
of
with
this
some
city who have
hunters.
martial
But I
skills
gave
at their
it up.
disposal
These are
are
dangerous
herewith
times.
urged to
There's a lot
join
of
the Royal
riffraff
Militia.
running around out there.
Vosper said you used to work for him.
Yes, I did, but he was only interested in his blasted hides. I told him how dangerous it's gotten out there. He didn't really listen to me. Well, anyway, he paid well. I can't complain about that.
Can you tell me anything else about him?
Vosper had one of his bows stolen recently in broad daylight. Some guy just waltzed into his store, took a bow, and left. The thieves are getting more and more brazen.
Where can I find the other hunters?
We had our camp outside near the tavern halfway to Onar's farm, but I don't know whether there's anyone left in the camp now. There used to be 2 of us here in town until a few days ago. My friend Trokar is an excellent hunter.
Okay, there seems to be an outlying group of farms. Maybe we should try to get to all of them.
So, where is your friend Trokar now?
Well, it's a curious story. Only a few days ago, we were both standing at the bar in Corrigan's tavern, discussing the hunt. Don't ask me what happened next. I had had a few by then. I vaguely remember Trokar saying that he was going out to get a few swampweed reefers. He never came back.
Where does one get swampweed reefers?
Somewhere down at the harbor, as far as I know.
Yeah, people disappearing in the harbor seems to be a common theme here.
Didn't you go looking for him?
No, but I reported it to the militia. But they haven't been able to find him yet. I hope he didn't get attacked by a wolf, or worse. I'm afraid that I'll stumble over his body someday when I'm out hunting. I don't think I could bear that.
Yeah, constantly laughing about it.
Can you teach me something about hunting?
I can teach you how to sneak properly and how to handle a bow. If you want to learn how to skin an animal, go to Vosper. He's the one who taught me.
See, costs 5 points. That's not a lot, but I'm not sure we're going to use it either, because that would imply us spending a lot of time going into people's houses and robbing them, and I'm not sure that's worth my time. I'm sure it's valuable as far as getting money at this stage, but it's basically it's not something I want to spend my time in. The stealth system or thievery in general isn't that exciting in this game, so I don't want to make a job out of it.
Hear ye, inhabitants of Khorinis. By the explicit order of the Honorable Lord Hagen, the following decree is hereby enacted.
Take a break and have a sip of cool beer. Lord Andre is springing for a few barrels of free beer.
Is to prepare himself accordingly.
Yeah, I don't think
Everyone
so.
is to begin training in the skills of combat immediately, and to arm himself appropriately.
Hey, you! Hey, what's up?
As long as the Paladins don't have any new assignments for me, I can have myself a couple of beers here. What more could you ask?
You're working for the Paladins?
Well, yeah, I report to them on the situation in the city. At the moment, everything is quiet.
How are things with the orcs?
No reason to worry. We in the city guard and the Paladins have everything under control. Go home and let us do our work. We're watching over the town and its citizens. Oh.
Would you like another beer?
Sure, I want another beer. Get me one.
Hear ye, inhabitants of Khorinis. From this moment onward, Lord Andre will take the supreme command
Would you
of
like
our
another
militia.
beer?
All the citizens of this city who have martial skills at their disposal are herewith urged to join the Royal Militia.
You were about to say something about the orcs.
Oh, yeah, right. The orcs are absolutely no threat to the city. They're stuck in the Valley of Mines, and the pass is held by the paladins. Not even a meat bug could get through there.
Hey, would you like another beer?
Well, I won't say no to a decent pint.
They've even spotted an orc outside of town.
Yeah, right. The dangerous orc outside the city. A real monster of an orc. Well, he's bound to attack the city soon. Listen, we'll kick that fat orc in his fat ass if he comes too close to the city. Got it?
I see.
Hear ye, inhabitants of Khorinis. By the explicit
I'd like to know if we have
can
feed those rings to this guy too.
What are you doing here?
I'm a novice from the monastery. I run errands for the magicians and also the paladins.
At their disposal
I have provided the 3 innkeepers in the city with wine from the monastery.
Ooh.
What can you tell me about the monastery?
We novices seek enlightenment in prayer to Innos and learn the principles of faith from the magicians. We serve them as we serve Innos and prepare ourselves for the union with the fire.
Okay, take me to your monastery. It means we'll probably get an escort to the monastery. This is something we definitely want to do. However, there seems to be a lot of things going on in the city that we could do probably without having to fight, or at least not get into any larger trouble. And since we are only on level 1, I'd really like to get a little bit more experience under my belt. Even if we don't spend the points anywhere, it still gives us more health.
Who are the 3 innkeepers?
One of them is the good man here behind the bar. Then there is Karagon, who has his tavern on the Temple Square, and Cardiff, the owner of the tavern in the Harbor District.
Oh.
Hear ye, inhabitants of Khorinis. By the explicit order of the Honorable, due to the general situation, the forest and wilderness near the city are to be avoided for your own
Would you like
protection.
another beer?
Furthermore, any
bitter ale is
contact with the rebelling peasantry in the surrounding areas is strictly forbidden.
You know, you don't often meet someone who'll treat you to a beer. You're all right.
Would you like another beer?
A tasty bitter ale is absolutely.
I guess we've reached the end of this. Not getting anything new out of him.
You know, you don't have.
Let's leave it at that.
Hear ye, inhabitants of Khorinis. By the explicit order... Don't bother me, I'm on duty.
Join the militia, that's the message. I'm guessing basics weapon trading.
How's your duty?
Oh, these boys swing their swords like farmers. But when I'm done with them, every single one of them will be a tough, hard bastard.
What's it like with the militia?
Lord Andre is our commander now. The militia used to report to the governor. He had no idea what we do here. But Lord Andre knows what he's doing. He takes good care of the men. Everyone who starts here gets some decent armor and a good weapon. And there are bonuses if you've done a good job. He pays a bounty for every criminal captured.
Can you also train me in sword fighting?
Lord Andre has ordered that we train everyone who is in a position to defend the city. But that's only true for combat training. All other kinds of training are reserved for the militia. Can you at least halfway handle a weapon?
I think so.
All right, you can start when you're ready.
Okay. Let's ask questions.
What are the advantages of one- or two-handed weapons?
Quite simple. With a one-handed weapon, you're faster. That can be a considerable advantage in battle. Two-handed weapons are more ponderous. You have to fight with foresight, but you can do a lot more damage when you're hit.
Where should I start, with one-handed or two-handed weapons?
That's entirely up to you. If you specialize in only one type of weapon, you automatically learn the other at the same time. If, for instance, you're good at fighting with one-handed swords, but still a beginner with two-handed weapons, your two-handed skills will go up as well whenever you train with a one-hander. In that case, the training is more exhausting than if you train with both types of weapons. Just start and you'll soon see what I'm talking about.
Let's begin with the training.
Okay, let's not. The problem is, as far as I know, the first sort of a threshold is at 30%, so we would need at least 20 points to be able to reach that. So we can't. We are 5 experience points short. 2, I'm not sure I want to go there now anyway. Probably yes. Even though I do want to focus on magic. It's, yeah, with 10 mana points, we could probably raise it to something like 20 to 30. But even that, it's we don't have any runes. We can't afford runes. So no matter what, we're going to be stuck with some kind of weapon for the foreseeable future. Question is strength or dexterity. It basically has to be decided at the start here. I think I'll go with the strength. So we do need to level up though, otherwise this is pretty much pointless. Might as well talk to the leader here.
Inos be with you, stranger. What brings you to me?
Why are you paladins in town?
The goals of our mission are secret. I can only tell you that there is no danger for the citizens of the town. You need not worry.
I've come to collect the bounty for a criminal.
I don't have any important message for Lord Hagen. What am I going to say? I want to take your holy relic. We still have the harbor, I guess, and one tavern we need to go through.
Hear ye, inhabitants of Khorinis. By the explicit order of the Honorable Lord Hagen, the following...
You still owe me a favor. It is time to pay your debt.
What do you want?
I want my old stall in the marketplace back. Sarah snatched it away from me, but she has had that spot long enough. I want her to give up the stall.
And what's my part in this?
I will give you a letter to stick in her pocket. Then you go to Andre and tell him that Sarah is selling weapons to Onar. She lands in prison, you pocket the bounty, and I get the stall. You have 2 days to accomplish this.
All right, looks like I've got no choice.
You're a clever lad. Here is the letter.
How am I supposed to foist the letter on her?
Let her show you her wares, and while she does, you hide the letter on her. And bear in mind, I am an influential man in the city, so don't try to play me for a fool.
Honestly, I witnessed it myself. That's not what my husband.
I don't think he
I've
is.
gotta go. Suit yourself.
Otherwise, he would have us stall.
Hey, you!
I can't take care of everything for everybody.
What are you doing here?
I wouldn't know how that is any of your business. Get lost!
And he works all day too. That's not what I heard.
Now that's typical, isn't it? Everybody knows by now. That's an
Okay, doesn't seem like there's anything special here.
Someone's got to do the work.
You don't say. Everybody knows by now.
And it's gonna get even worse.
What's new?
I hope the militia will finally find out why the population of Khorinis keeps shrinking. You have to fear for your life when you hear that so many have already gone missing. He can't keep anything to himself.
Really, how interesting.
Maybe it could be in
And it's gonna get even worse.
related to the pirate activity. I mean, basically their men keep disappearing.
But that's terrible. He can't keep anything to himself.
You don't say.
Welcome, stranger. My name is Baltron. Have you come to stock up on food? I'm afraid I'll have to disappoint you. I don't have much in stock right now, but I'll be getting a new delivery soon.
Go away, don't tell me that. If I hadn't.
Have you got a job for me?
No, I already have an errand boy. Try the other merchants.
That's terrible.
Show me your wares.
Who says things like that?
Bread, cheese, is that milk, water, an amulet of life for the hit points. Definitely not worth it.
Someone's got to do the work. That's not what my husband thinks.
These are bad times.
So why would he have it though?
Really? How interesting. You don't say.
I'm Zurus, master of potions. Do you need an essence of healing or a magic elixir? Then you've come to the right place.
I can't take care of everything for everybody.
Do you brew your own potions?
No, I either get them from the monastery or I buy them from Constantino, the alchemist. If you're interested in brewing potions, then talk to him. He needs an assistant. But he's too pig-headed to hire someone himself. He's just as stubborn as a mule. He always passes me when he goes out on the East Gate to collect plants for his potions.
That's what I've always said. That's what I've always
Where exactly does Constantino gather his herbs?
He always goes through the eastern city gate here, and then disappears into the wilderness to the left. He once told me that just about everything grows there, except for King Sorrel.
That's what I've always said. Really, how interesting.
Has Constantino ever told you where to find King Sorrel?
I once heard him say that the stuff grows near stone circles, near Lobart's farm. That's a farm near the other gate. There's one of those stone circles. I think it's on a hill. It used to be a grave or something.
Now that's typical, isn't it?
These are bad times.
Show me your wares.
That's an open secret.
Ooh.
If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes.
Build of magic defense.
He simply talks too much. Really? How interesting.
Complete regeneration.
That's an open secret.
Hit points, mana bows. Yeah, spells. Destroy undead.
And he works all day too.
So, shrink monster. Huge selection. Divine power of stars. Red tear pepper.
You don't say.
I won't
Apple tobacco. Guess it's a. Maybe it's a version of a tobacco. Or it's just spices.
I can't take care of everything for everybody.
I don't believe that.
Ooh, but who are you?
Who says things?
Wait a minute.
What can I do for you? Are you seeking spiritual comfort? Do you want to direct a prayer to our Lord Enos, or donate some gold for his church?
Okay, again, this is a donation thing.
But that's terrible.
We can't afford it anyway.
Where do you come from?
I come from the Monastery of the Magicians, which lies in the mountains. We accept everyone there who is pure of heart and feels the desire to serve our almighty Lord Innos.
He can't keep anything to himself.
Tell me more about the monastery.
We instruct our students in all forms of magic, but the arts of the Magicians of Fire consist of more than these alone. We are also well versed in the art of alchemy and in the creation of powerful runes. We also make excellent wine.
Okay, it seems like if we want to make anything of ourselves there anyway, we would have to have 3 learning points. So my plan basically is at this point is to get that 2nd level up, then probably get the one-handed weapons to out of the rookie status and leave it there for the moment. Maybe get more strength as needed a little bit. So we have basically a low-level fighter character. And then we need to do enough job, kill enough wilderness creatures to get a few additional level ups, so we have some kind of a core that we can start to go into the monastery and learn things. That's sort of the plan at the moment.
That's not what I heard.
What are you doing in town?
I have discussions with the paladins and support the citizens with my advice and with helpful words. Particularly in these difficult times, it is our duty to be there for the people and to help the poor.
Who says things like that?
And it's gonna get even worse.
All wizards seem to have those staffs, so
Really, how interesting.
they 2-handed weapons. It doesn't really matter if it's one-handed or two-handed, but one or the other we need to learn to a non-rookie level.
Honestly, I witnessed it myself.
Tell me about Innos.
Innos, our almighty Lord, is the light and the fire. He chooses humans to be his tool, giving them magic and laws. We act in his name. We administer justice according to his will and preach his word.
That's not what my husband thinks.
Someone's gotta do the work.
I do need to take care of the Sarah business now. 2 days time.
Innos be with you, stranger. If you're looking for a good selection for the traveler, then you're in the right place. But I'm warning you, if you're planning on helping yourself without paying, I'll call the city guard.
Just a moment. Do I look like a thief?
Bah! You won't be the first one to make off with my things today.
He can't keep any.
Somebody stole from you.
I can't prove it. The fellow was damn clever. Introduced himself as Ringaroo, if that really is his right name. He's been hanging around the marketplace the last few days. And every evening he gets plastered at the beer stand down the street. I bet the bastard is drinking my money. I only looked away for a moment, and my purse was gone.
He simply talks too much.
I could get your gold back for you.
Oh? And why would you do that?
I don't believe that.
Go away, don't tell me that.
Well, that depends.
How interesting.
Can you help me get into the upper quarter?
You've got the wrong man. I'm from out of town like most of the merchants in the marketplace. If you want to get into the upper quarter, go talk to the resident merchants in the lower part of town.
I want part of the gold as a reward.
First, see if you can get my purse back. Then, we'll talk about your reward.
Okay, alternatively, I'll take the purse back and keep it myself. How about that?
That's not what I heard.
Why didn't you call the city guard?
The guards only respond if a thief is caught in the act. And when I noticed my purse was missing, the bastard was already gone.
Go away. Don't tell me that.
How much gold was in that purse?
50 gold pieces. That's quite a lot in these crappy times.
That's not what my husband thinks.
I'll see what I can do.
Be careful. If you just knock the bastard down, the city guard will get involved. Lately, things have been getting really tough here. Since the paladins came to town, the guards have been cracking down on brawlers. So think of something.
I shall.
Anything to himself.
He can't keep
Show me your wares.
Torturer's Axe. Strength required 125. Yeah.
That's not what I heard.
Seems like for any kind of decent weapon, even half decent, you're going to have strength of 20 required.
I won't tell her a thing from now on.
But skill, I feel, is the more important, because without skill, every hit is sort of weak and doesn't do much damage.
I won't tell her a thing from now on.
I won't tell her a thing from now on.
Yeah, we'll talk to the last of the merchants, and I think we'll... No, I want to see if I can finish up the Sarah thing now, otherwise I'll just forget about it.
I am Hacken, the weapons dealer. Every man should carry a weapon these days, especially when venturing outside of the city walls.
Someone's gotta do the work.
What do you know about the disappearances of the citizens of Khorinis?
I have seen many pass through the eastern city gate. Some of those who came I had never seen before in my life. And many of those who went out never came back. But what happened the other day was really quite strange. There was this fellow who came here. I think his name is Joe. He bragged that he would soon come into some serious money. He claimed that he knew how to get into one of the city towers, where the militia keep their arms.
Really?
I haven't seen him since, even though I used to bump into him around the same time every day. I reported this to the militia. I thought that maybe he had been caught and thrown into the dungeon, but Lord Andre had no idea what I was talking about. He didn't even know the fella.
I can't take care of everything for everybody.
These are bad times.
Do you know anything about the Paladins?
Yes. Those guys are ruining my business. All you can buy in this entire town is a short sword at most. They've helped themselves to anything that's longer than 1.5 feet. In return, I now get to live in the hotel free of charge.
But that's terrible.
We could afford to raise our weapon now. I'm not sure I would want that. Problem is that lockpicking would be my priority at this point. If we get some extra loot at that now, we can't access it anyway without lockpicking.
Tell me more about the area around the city.
It's gotten too dangerous out there, because of the bandits for one thing, and also on account of wild beasts. Even the animals don't seem to get enough to eat in these crappy times. They're venturing closer to the city all the time.
I think our best strategy to
show me your wares.
Get lockpicking is simply do the apprentice thing first, to basically become member of the city, and then try to see if he'll train in lockpicking. 140 strength required. Yeah, that's lovely. Militia belt, together with militia armor. Leather armor. Weapon protection. Yeah, short sword will suit pretty good. About 20 strength, 40-45 damage.
That's an open secret.
Don't tell this to anyone. I don't believe that.
That's not what my husband thinks. That's an open
Okay, let's see if we can wrap up the Sarah thing.
Who says
Hopefully it's fairly simple.
And he works all day too. He simply talks too much.
You don't say.
How's business?
When the Paladins came, I first thought that it was a good business opportunity, but they let Herod make their weapons, and neither Hakon nor I make even 1 gold piece off them. Moreover, the farmers no longer supply us with food, and all the prices have gone up. It's only a small consolation that the Paladins are paying my hotel bill. Don't tell this to anyone.
What's the problem with the farmers?
They refuse to deliver their goods. Now that the ships no longer come in, the city depends entirely on the supplies provided by the farmers, of course. And Onar, the largest farmer, has hired mercenaries to protect his farm from the city guards. Otherwise, they'd simply snatch the goods for themselves. But the mercenaries don't just guard Onar's farm. They come as far as the small farms outside of town to intimidate the farmers. I saw them as I was passing Akil's farm. I wouldn't like to be in his shoes now.
Where will I find Akhil's farm?
If you go out of the east gate here and follow the road to the right, you'll come to a stairway. It leads up to Akhil's farm, but I wouldn't go there now. The mercenaries are certainly still there. That's what I've always said.
Show me your wares.
These are bad times. Everybody knows by now.
He had better shut up, and it's gonna get even worse.
How exactly is this supposed to work? Can I just trade the item into her inventory?
I won't tell her a thing from now on.
Cutlass, 145 strength. I don't think Cutlass is quite that heavy of a weapon.
Honestly, I witnessed it myself.
And it's going to get even worse. Really, how interesting.
Who says things like that? Don't tell this to anyone.
You don't say. And it's going to get even worse.
Really? How interesting. Everybody knows by now.
He'd better shut up. He simply talks too much.
You don't
Am
say.
I supposed? Yeah, I'll just try to pass this on her.
I won't tell her a thing from now on. You don't say.
Someone's gotta do the work. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes.
He can't keep anything to
Let's see.
himself.
Really? How interesting. Really? How interesting.
But that's terrible. These are bad
Port
times.
the guard.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, let's try it on
I
her.
haven't seen it with my own eyes.
Not like we're in any way. We have no preference here, one way or another. I just want to avoid trouble in a way.
I've come to collect the bounty for a criminal. Sarah is selling weapons to Onar.
Sarah? The weapons merchant in the marketplace? Do you have proof of that?
She has a letter in her pocket which details the delivery of arms to him.
She won't get away with that. I shall have her arrested.
Well, I'm sure they'll like having a female prisoner here. Basically what I seems either this is entirely a frame-up, or he's the guy we work for is basically supplying those weapons for them and wanted to get rid of an obstacle. Either way is just fine with me.
Honestly, I witnessed it myself.
Well done. Sarah is where she belongs. I have taken over her goods, so if you need a weapon, come to me.
Show me your wares.
Take your pick.
I don't know if there's any consequence to this.
Someone's got to do the work.
And it's gonna get even worse.
Seems to be providing pretty much the same crap.
He'd better shut up.
Fine short sword.
That's not what I heard.
Either way,
I've gotta go.
Suit yourself.
I'll be ending things here. We do have to make a choice to who we want to apprentice with. And I'm thinking of going with the hunter. Simply because we need an income source. I'm sure we can learn the potion making when we become a mage. But for now, what we need is money, and we don't want to miss opportunities of getting money out of animals we kill. So I'd like to get that as soon as possible, which means that we are apprenticeship. And I think we should do it anyway, so we can get at least a little positive reputation going here, so we can take the lockpicking, and that should be pretty much a good start for us. I don't know how the lockpicking works though. I'm assuming at this point it works like in the first game, so we'll get a reduced chance of failure. We have almost 10 of the lockpicks already, so that should be good for quite a few chests at this point, if we just get the skill. By the way, apprenticeship to Bosper.